How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video, and the first one since it's coming back, because as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I decided to take a break throughout August, apart from the things like the previously DBS series and also the card market breakdowns. But unfortunately, as it came to September, at the beginning, my Mac decided to crap out on me. So since then, I have been, thankfully that pushed me to actually build a new PC like I've been trying to do and wanting to do. And thanks to that push, I managed to finally get it built and up running. And now I'm back with content. And also now, one good thing about that is that I should be able to bring better quality content and even some streaming as well, and even some new series. Thanks to that. So, as one of the first videos coming back, I wanted to do a deck profile on an idea I had, thanks to an idea that's floating on my Discord, and that is King Cold Broly. So that is King Cold using the Broly chain, because if you didn't know, we got King Cold back in set 13. It's like a really good deck, all around field cards, and I really love the deck. Managed to take it to a top cut placing at the Large Store Championship in Newport back in last month. I don't know if it's August, but I know like a few weeks, like many weeks ago. And I just really love the deck, and it's nice that it's green because I do like the green decks. And since the ban list, one of the worst matches has been Dark Broly was nerfed by it, and now that the format's slowing down and there's a bit less aggro in the format, King Cold's in a better spot, I feel, and I just wanted to go with a take on the deck using a different theme than the standard, and that is the Broly chain. So let's get into it. Start off with the lead. As everybody knows if they watch my video, not what King Cold lead does. It has a permanent on both sides where when you activate a 2-cost green full card from your hand, you can reduce the cost of it by 1, so it's 1 cost. And that's on both sides. And on the front side, it's got an altar where you want to play the King Cold's Dynasty to allow you to play multiple field cards as soon as you start the game. And on both sides, it's got an altar once per turn, where when you activate a green field card from your hand, that's 2 cost, and green field card has 2 cost. You on the front side, you can take up to 1 life and then draw a card, and on the back side, you just draw a card. So your draw power is related to the field cards. And on the Awaken is an aggressive one where when you're at 4 less life, you can untap 2 energy, flip over. And the other benefit on the newest skill you have from Awakening is its Epic Battle, where once per turn you can choose one of your green 2-cost or 2-cost fill cards in your battle area, put it in the drop, and gain 10k for that battle. So it means a free 10k for offense, which is really nice, and also for defense, which is quite nice as well. And as we said, it rolls on field cards, so we have the King Cold's Dynasty, the one that starts off, which basically says you can play, you can have as many 2-cost green field cards in your battle area as you want, so you're not restricted to just having 1. And the other permanent meaning, if you have 1 in play, you can't play another copy of the same card until it's gone. So basically means I can have on board all 5 of these on board at once. But if I want to play a new ruler, I have to get the new ruler on board before I can play a new one from my hand. And in thing with the deck, we're playing field cards. Playing quite a lot of them because it the deck revolves around using the field cards to get your draw power and stuff, and all have some beneficial effects. And also, as well, they're just really strong. You want to have some options as well. So we play a full play set of New Ruler and Anticipated Onslaught because these are the best ones. A New Ruler being the one that can help take your life, which is a key thing we want in the deck. And also filter through your deck to try and find your secret rare and the pieces you want, because when you play it, you can take up to 1 life. Then look at top 3 cards, grab a green card from each on your opponent, and then put the other to the bottom of the deck. So it filters quite far through. And when it's sacked off in your battle by one of your skills, you draw a card and discard 1. And we've got Anticipated Onslaught, which doesn't take a life. Instead, when you play, you draw 1, and then you can free play on the board a 2-cost or less Freezer Army or Freezer Clan card, which means you do the Berry Blue or Paragus here, or if you meet the permanent conditions for Broly and Frieza, you can play them as well. And the other skill is one that could come up but doesn't come up and help too much is if you sack once on the board, if you sack off never fill card by one of your skills, you pop up 2 costs or less of your opponent's side of the board once per turn. Then we have Unstoppable Invasion. We play 2 copies of this, and this is just a helpful, beneficial card to one, take life, because you want to get into 1 for the secret rare, and the other is when you play it, you give your leader a 10k boost for the turn and double strike, and you put some more pressure. And another one of the best benefits of this card is a second auto, where if it's sacked off for your by your skills, you can drop a mark off when you put its unison, and giving you some good unison control. Like, this is one of the best things really in this deck for controlling unisons, because you can play it, make your leader a 20k double strike, swing into your opponent's unison, use the activate mana to sack us off, and you're taking off 3 markers with 1 swing. And that's why I play 2, because you can recycle it with things in the deck, and it's not as important to looking for your cards like the other 2, which dual cards and deck fin. They were playing 1 Terrified Realization. There's just another extra fill card, one that takes life as well, to help put yourself down to 1 and draw more cards as well. And we only play it 1 because it's not vital, and the only thing it boosts is the Freezer, because it only boosts Freezer Clan. Well, yeah, and that's the only Freezer Clan we have in the deck, so that's why we run it 1. And then we're playing 3 the new one, Demonic Advent. So this is a brand new one from TP4. So set 14 brought out 2 more cards for this deck in the form of the Broly and this card in TV. If you know what TP means, it means Tournament Pack. And it's a helpful one to get into what this deck is about. So it's got 2 skills, an auto and an activate main. The first one is the auto, where if your leader card is a green Freezer Clan or Freezer Army card, which our card is a green Freezer Clan. When this is played and you battle area, you play it to 1 mono green Broly BR card with entry cost of 3 or less from your deck with its skills negated for the turn and rest mode and shuffle your deck. So this is a way to put. This is where we run only. I think it is. Yeah. So this counts as like 7 copies of the Broly, and the best thing to do is, well, it's better going second, because if you play this on your turn 2, then it puts when your opponent has their turn, they're on free energy, and it meets the requirement for your Broly. Where if you're playing where you're going first, then this is more of a turn 3 play. Well, it's nice to have this on board, and that's why we play 4 Broly's, because even if you have it early, it's more you want to use the activate main. And if your Broly's on board, with the Broly you need to wait until turn 3 to go off the chain and go off. But it's nice that it can put it on board, because even then getting a free 15k boost they can have in this setup for the activate main is solid enough. And speaking of the activate main, that is the another vital skill for this deck, which is for the chain as well, which is once per turn for 1 green, you choose up to 1 of your green Broly BR cards in your battle area and place it in your drop area. Then you add it to 1 mono green Broly BR card with entry cost of 6 or 7 from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is the reason why we only play 3 copies of the 7 drop, because it's easy searchable for this, and we have 3 copies of this, meaning there's technically 6 copies of that card. And also because the 7 drop also has a 1 cost 10k combo piece as well, combo cost. So that's it for the fill cards. And then we have the unison of choice, being the Green Vegeta, because it can free play any of these 2 cost fill cards for free, and it has a helpful win condition as well, where it's just activate battle, which can force negates, and if it doesn't get negated, potentially end the game with its triple strikes by giving itself a 5k boost for each fill card on your board, which you can get up to a total of 45, and triple strike as well for a good and very strong finisher if you don't go for your normal route. And to look for these fill cards, because they're part to the deck's theme and to the deck's plan, we have Fairy Blue, which looks at top 7 cards for a fill card or a unison, and has the activate main for 1 green, be able to free play any fill card on its 2 costs from your drop, paying 1 green. So it means that even if you lose these cards in your drops, if you have your 1 Terrified Realization and it goes to you sack it off, you can bring it back from your drop easy enough for this. Or if you use Demonic Advent, you can replay it back after using its activate main, by playing it from your drop with Red Blue. Then we have, and also as a target for an Anticipate Onslaught, so a good first turn play is to go Anticipate Onslaught to get the draw of your lead, draw of your leader, and potentially a guy if you want to and get a draw off this, play this for free, such a top 7, get yourself set up for your turn 2 to hopefully fight in unison. Then we've got Paragus the Sacrifice, another card that can be free played off Anticipating Onslaught. And it's another way to sack off these field cards to then make it so you can play another one from your hand, either free from unison or by hard casting it, and give you more draw power to filter your deck quite quickly. And it's also not only does it get rid of field cards you can play more, it also helps you go through the Brody chain by sacking off the chain to trigger their effects. That's why we play both these as full copy 4, so in unison we play as full copy 4. Then on the next part we have Brody Berserker of Freeze's Army. So this is the first part of the Brody chain, because the 1 drop from the set 6 requires a green Freezer Army leader, but King Cold is only a Freezer clan. So it's a free cost 15k, unique, so you can only have 1 copy of this card on the board at any given time. And it's got permanent, where if your leader card is a green Freezer Army or Freezer Clan card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each green extra card in your battle area and drop. So this is why we play 4, because you might be able to get off the demonic advent, but it is not live until turn 3. And by being able to go down to a 1 cost or 2 cost means you can free play it off the Anticipating Onslaught if the one you get from demonic advent doesn't survive until you can go off with a check with its effect. And the reason why I say that is because of his ult sale to help start off the chain is if your opponent has 3 or more energy. So that's why if you're going second, it's live on your turn 3 because your opponent have 3 energy because they'll be going to turn ahead. But if you're going first, you have to wait until your turn 4 unless your opponent has a ramp to be able to trigger up the chain and start going off with your explosive play. And when your opponent does 3 more energy, the rest of the auto is when this card is removed from your battle area by a skill or KO'd, meaning by either your opponent's skill or KO'd by you or your opponent. You may choose 2 cards in your hand and discard them. If you do, choose up to 1 mono green Brody BR card with energy cost 6 or 7 in your hand and play it. And we don't go for the 6 to 8 cost chain because it's easily removable and depletes your hand quite a bit to get up to, and it's not as strong as it used to be unless you're going very aggressive in your first turn. But we've got an even better way to get the chain that only requires 2 sacks, being of this and a 7 drop to go for explosive push with the secret rare. And so on turn 3 you normally got to have this on board if it already, or play it on that turn, then swing with this and then start sacking it off to go for a chain. And the card we opt to go for from that is the 7 drop from the starter deck, being Brody the Ravager. And the reason for that is because it's a 7 drop which fulfills the requirements for secret rare to be able to drop the secret rare. It has critical as well, so if it inflicts damage, which it probably might most likely be, is either if it's got where it's got critical. So when it swings, you're either inflicting enough damage because it's a 30k base, meaning it's a big hit. You're either inflicting damage which they're not going to take to hand, so they're not gaining anything if this connects. And if they do try to save it, they're losing a lot from hand just to stop 1 attack, just to save 1 life. And another good thing about it that could be quite helpful is its activate battle, where once per turn, first 3, which will trigger either in your opponent's turn, you mill the top 3 cards of your deck, and then your opponent chooses 1 card from hand, placed in the drop area. So it gives you a bit of hand control, which you can side into if you want to for the deck. So if you so a good side deck option, you can make it turn into a hand control deck from an aggressive deck as well. And that's the target we have. Well, as I said, we only play 3 copies of it. It can be searched off to my Advent, and also because it's got a 1 cost 10k combo, which means that you don't want to be paying energy to combo off. So that's why we limit it down to 3. Then a secret rare choice of the deck is Broly Ultimate Agent Destruction. Now this is a very good one because in this deck, where your leader on its front side and your field cards take your life, you can easily get down to 1 to fulfill its condition for its effect. This is a double strike, double attack area with the ultimate tag, as all secret rares do. And it's got 2 autos. The first one is how you want to play it, where when one of your green battle cards with energy cost of 7 or more is removed from a battle area by a skill or KO'd, which, as I say, just like with the Brody chain, doesn't matter if it's you or your opponent that gets rid of it. You can activate a skill. You choose all other cards in your hand, drop them into your drop, and then play this card from your hand. And being at 8 cost, it's going to be quite difficult for you. Well, you're not going to be stopped by green, and yeah, it does. It's like really your game ender because of its second auto. But when this card attacks, if your life is at 1, which you can easily go, as I said, you can easily go to in this deck with all the life taking and the leader's front side effect of taking a life as well. Your opponent chooses all cards in their hand and places in the drop area, meaning that you can just swing once with this, if they negate, but then they lose their entire hand to this, which is really strong. And if it's so like you have ending the game there when you drop this, or you at least make it so they got no hand, and it's harder for them to come back from. So even though you discard your hand, you can still gain cards back, or you at least put a lot of pressure on as well. And then we have so that's the main chain. That's the main 3 ones. And you're going to be mainly trying to search for the secret rare by taking all your life down to 1, so you can at least see. So hoping it's not the last card in your life, and easily enough draw for your deck with a new roller and anticipated onslaught, where a new roller at least takes a life, then looks at the top 3 and bottom decks it so you can keep drawing through. So if you see it in the top 3, take it. If not, you put it to the bottom so you can keep trying to find the secret rare. And then also what we have for extra pressure is 3 copies of Freezer Reviled. Now we play this because it's a free 5 combo, and it's never an option to be brought out by anticipating onslaught, and it's at least a 20k dual attacker, or if you want to be defensive, it could be a blocker to help you and sack out these field cards so you can at least have quite a easy bit of defense if you need be until you get to turn 3. And then if you combine it with Terror's Realization, if you manage to draw that and put that on board, it becomes with 4 field cards, meaning your film card you start off with, Terrified Realization, with just 2 more other ones, you can make it a 25k dual attack, which is a good amount of pressure, which also goes in well with Fighting Its Fate. If you have both these on the board at one turn, that's 4 25k attacks, which is, as you know, is a sweet spot for attacker and leader, because if there are most leaders are 15k on the Awakened side, and that's going to force them to use a super combo and another 5k just to come out, so they're not comboing out for free, or a lot of 5ks to be able to combo. Then we have Paragus, the super combo choice, because it's got the best effect where it draws 2, then you lose a card from hand, and by warping a card means you can get rid of one of your cards that aren't comboable. And say with the Android 16 Steadfast technique, where, as you know, we play a lot of fill cards, we play a lot of extra cards in the fill cards in the deck, so it allows you to discard a fill card that's dead in your hand to then give you an 11k combo, which can help out combo or put a lot of pressure on. So that's almost on any attack, that's almost like a 15k combo, really. Then we're playing 2 SS4 Bardock Fighting Against Fakes. It's the best overall for the deck because it's just 6 cards in drop, which is easily done. Usually at least dropping 2 off this Broly, and hopefully doing enough over the time. And for you 2 25k swings, so I've said it's really good, especially, and as like we said, if you have this Freezer Fighting Its Fate and then you drop the Broly chain, that's a lot of pressure you're putting in a single turn. So unless your opponent's blue and they got Baby Hatch, or they got another way to limit your number of attacks, you give me a lot of pressure. And then for the last few cards, we have our extra cards to help us with certain things. So we got Focus Breakthrough, because as I said, this deck can easily get down Awakened really quickly. You can be awakened by turn 2, like the earliest. Focus Breakthroughs to help with things like you've got some battle cards that have negating attack, have skills where when they come down, they put restriction on things you need to do before you attack. And like say Topo, if that hits the field, it makes it so now you got to discard 2 cards every time you attack. Same with and you got like the Oceanus Black Negate, which means you have to mill 4 to attack for the rest of each time you attack for the rest of the turn. You have Baby, the Gohan and stuff like that. This is a really good card because for 1 energy they pay 2 or something for their Floodgate Negate, and for 1 energy you just tap 1 for this. Just basically send it to the drop, so it keeps the attack still, but it doesn't have the effect, so you can still continue to be aggressive. And then the last card we have is 1 Homicidal Clones, mainly because you can get yourself down to low life, as I keep saying, and Homicidal Clones is really good at negating because of the fact it can negate 2 attacks potentially by negating an attack with the first time you use it, which then you then play a blocker token, and the token then can then block 1 attack. So it helps you and gets you that turn 3 play, just gives you against an aggressive deck. Because with this deck, what you mainly want to do is get the turn 3 and save your awakening to turn 3, because on turn 3, if you can go off, you then have your free energy from the starting turn after you charge, and then you have 2 extra energy from awakening with your leader. And that gives you enough energy to do all your things like playing the fill cards, Paragus, Berry Blue, to basically get the Brody on board, go up to 7, sack it off, drop the secret rare, and then begin to just deplete their hand and stuff, and also play more aggression as well. But that's everything for the deck. It's a deck that benefits in going second, which is nice, because if you go second, you can get your chain out faster because your opponent meets their free energy requirement for Broly by the time you get to turn 3. If you go in first, you can still do still be quite aggressive as well, and have more energy on the turn you awaken them. But that's it for the deck. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment on if there's anything I've missed or got wrong, or there's any question you have about the deck. Like if you enjoyed the video and like the deck idea. And lastly, subscribe if you want to keep updated with videos from me. Because if you subscribe, you get notifications for as and when I drop videos. And now I've got my new PC built, I can get out my content out regularly again. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.